which is why anyone should be led by you. Right? And you can talk a lot about leadership. You can define leadership as long as much as you want. And the end of the day, the basic topic is why anyone should be led by you. Why do you think that you deserve it, or how you would like to do that, right? I thought it was at Harvard that Tom DeLonge, and some of you may know, and I don't know if he did the exercise with you, but did with us quite a nice exercise. We said, you always remember a leader, someone who really inspired you, right? So put on the piece of paper the list of the name of these people. Right? And we thought that at that time that was the exercise to describe why we put this name. But then he said, okay, so now flip the sheet of paper and imagine that I can interview everyone you have worked with during your professional life. And if I have asked each of them this precise question, who was the inspired leader you would like to remember or to look like? How many people I would be able to write on this list that would have quote you?
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's a difficult question. Right? Which come back to the point, why anyone should be led by you. And so you can talk a lot about leadership, you can read a lot about leadership, but in the end, the acid test is really the answer to that question. And so when I think about it, my kind of way to answer it is around three themes, which in my experience has been important or instrumental. And then, so I would like to explore a little bit these three themes, and then going a little bit into the how and into what is connected. The first theme is about authenticity. There is a lot of literature now on authenticity, and but I think it deserves to be part of these three themes, because if you are not authentic enough, that means to me that you're not able to lead yourself. And if you are not able to lead yourself, then how anyone really should be led by you. And the matter with authenticity is a very complex matter in a sense, because of course the bias on authenticity is to look at authenticity as you need to take me as I am, right? So I'm who I am, and so you take it, or you like it or not, but it's what it is, right? Which is a little bit the side track of authenticity. In fact, authenticity is the ability to be self-aware, the ability to be lucid enough, the ability to get the courage to see yourself as you are. In one of my first executive committee meeting, we'll come back on that in the end, I shared with the team, at the end it's a triangle with 3 dots. One dot is who you are. The second dot is how people see you. And the third dot is how you would like people to see you. And then think about the area of this triangle. Normally these 3 points should be just 1 point. But if it's a big triangle, that means that you will spend a lot of energy to try to reduce the gap between how people see you, who you are, and what is the image that you want to project. And the energy that you are dedicating to that, it's not an energy that you are doing to something else, right? Which is somewhat a hurdle. So authenticity is important. Why authenticity is important also? Because if you don't know your starting point, to me, you cannot grow. And life is about growth. Life is about development. Life is about learning from experience, And so leadership is not in our DNA, right? If I think about genomics or these type of things, to me, leading is not in the gene. I doubt that one day, one scientist will come and say, I have discovered the sequence of leadership, right? I doubt about that. So it's a journey, it's an ability to learn, it's an ability to develop yourself. And if you are not able to understand what is your starting point, then any point of development is useless, right? Because you will not know what you need to start from. Right? So the courage to see who you are is an element which is critical for leadership. The other element of authenticity is because people are not stupid. So you may think that you can hide, but in fact, it's not because they don't talk, that they don't see. And it's two completely different things, right? And I'm sure you have experienced that. But people see. They see, they feel, they understand. But very limited numbers of people have the courage to share and to tell. So if you think that people don't see who you are fooling yourself, right? And aligning the stars between who you are, how people see you, and how then you can help them and create value, it's an element which is important in terms of legitimacy and credibility. So that's the second point about authenticity. It's about the journey, it's about the development, and it's about making sure that you are who you are. When I did this transition, I took a piece of paper and I thought about names and people that I would like to meet. So I had a list of 25 CEOs. Then I said, I would like to get a dialogue with them. My first surprise was that all of them said yes, because some of them I never know them, I didn't know. And I said, well, I just get the position, I would like to see you. So all of them accepted to see me. And all of this dialogue was wonderful dialogue, and I discovered all of them wonderful people, which were very happy actually to talk and to exchange with someone else in an informal position. And some of them told me, one of the difficult things you need to be comfortable with is everybody will look at you 24/7. Right? And it's true. When you are the CEO, you are the one that everybody is looking at. Right? What you need to be comfortable with is making sure that, in a sense, each time you talk, you are the voice of the company. And in a sense, you are not anymore your own voice. Right? And it's something which, at the beginning, I had to deal with, in a sense, because, if you like to have some informal dialogue with people, sometimes you just have an informal dialogue with someone, and then you come back 3 months later and you discover a new piece in your house, and you said, well, what is it? They said, well, you mentioned that you wanted something like that. I said, yeah, I just talked about it. So this is one of the things. But at the end of the day, everybody is looking at you when you are the CEO, but everybody is looking at you all the time, whatever the position you are in. Right? It's just a little bit more visible when you are the CEO, but this point of being exposed to others, it's life. It's just life. So first element, authenticity, which leads to self-awareness, ability to develop because it's a journey, and ability to make sure that people see you as you are and you are comfortable with that. Because otherwise, once again, why people should be comfortable and should be led by you. The second element is about engagement. And it's, to me, a very important part of leadership, because at the end of the day, leadership is about engagement. Leadership is about ability to have passionate people around yourself that, in a sense, deliver the value for the company. Because you don't do a lot as a CEO, basically, they are doing the job, right? So the ability to maintain a highest possible level of engagement, this is what leadership is about. And so to me, if leadership is linked to performance, leadership is linked to performance through culture. And culture is linked to engagement. Right? And why is it so important to have an engaged teams? It's about the fact that if you want to create, to have an impact, that's my third theme, value. If you want to create an impact, you can just have an impact if you have passionate people. In the complex world that we are now, things are not done just because you are doing tasks one after the other. The value is about the final percentage points that you need to reach that will make the difference versus the others, right? And these final percentage points, these ideas, this ability to connect the dots, this ability to see what others do not see, you rarely have that doing average. You do that when you reach the ultimate edge level, and you can have that only if you have engaged people. That's the reason why we are doing an engagement survey every year, like a lot of different, well, almost now all companies are doing that, and we are monitoring that very seriously, because at the end of the day, even if people have a good intent, the ability of managing engagements is the critical factor to get the impact that you want to have. Which means that we talk very often about leadership on an individual basis. It's very much the I, me as a leader. And to me, you should switch completely the pyramid. Leadership is not about I, the leadership is about the we. because this ability to lead, this ability to be able to create an attraction that people will be able to follow, it's of course important for the CEO, but it's important at every level. Influence is not a matter of organizational chart, it's not a matter of position in the company. It starts for everyone. So this matter of leadership is about everybody in the organization. It's not just about the leaders, the people that we name the leaders, right? It's true from my perspective across the board. So authenticity and engagement. Engagement is also about the energy. You know, managing the energy in an organization is basically the most important challenge, right? And managing energy, you can manage that in all of the different experiences that you are exposed to. You know, each time you see someone, you have an opportunity either to increase his level of energy or her level of energy, or to reduce this level of energy, right? So, you know, I ask myself the questions almost every time. You know, I'm out of an executive committee meeting tonight. We had 8 hours of meetings during the day. The question is, you know, after 8 hours, normally, you're killed. Sometimes we are, actually. But then the real question is, and sometimes it happens, you have the team that tells you can feel it and you can see it. The level of energy at the end of the meeting is higher than in the beginning. Which means what? Which means people have a great experience, so their level of engagement increase. So the ability then to really deliver and to really go to the extra miles is increased. And this is what leadership is about, right? So managing engagements, that is managing energy, in order to deliver on the third theme, which leadership is all about, which is deliver value. Because leadership, you cannot have success without results, and results is about value, right? And value is much more than just the results. Value is very much what do you want to achieve, what is your role, and there is less and less borders between within the company and outside the company. So the value for the company should somewhat be connected to the value for the people within the company, to the value for, in our case, for the patient, of course, because these are our customers, these are the people we are here for the shareholders who trust us and who have given us their money and investing in us, and for the society, because we cannot have value for a part which doesn't deliver value for the other part. And all of this ethical debate, which I think is fair, is to think about, to me, you cannot create value for a part of the pie without creating value for the overall. So value for patients means value for the company, means value for the shareholders, and means value for the society. And if you think about that from a healthcare perspective, it's quite a debate. And I'm sure that some of you have precise ideas about what is the value of a company involved in healthcare, what is the value of the challenge about drug pricing and the cost of healthcare, and the appropriate element of investment and the percentage of GDP invest in healthcare and the part of that, right? But it's a part of the equation that we need to solve. So going back into my three themes, authenticity, engagement, and value, this is what it's all about. And it's all about the journey, and it's all about ability to be authentic enough and be yourself at your best, so that you can engage others to be themselves at their best, individually and collectively, because the complexity is not so much about individual engagement. The complexity is about aligning, energizing, and creating for 8,000 people this ability to go into one direction and the same direction. And this is what it's all about, right? So that's a little bit in a nutshell how I would see leadership